Hello and goodbye. Hello to the new, goodbye to the old. And we also have Callie talking about endings and beginnings. So these two want to actually be held up together with the very first part of your reading, talking about some very big changes. It feels like big changes because your last reading was kind of about all these different areas of your life. Like you've been sort of making wishes about what you're wanting for your life, and lots of like all areas of your life came up last time. And so it's as if, okay, now here comes the changes to create what you're wanting. And so part of that is whatever you have now that doesn't line up with what you're wanting would need to go to make room for what you are wanting now moving forward in this life of yours. So it looks like there's a lot of changes going on. So with this card, hello and goodbye, with this card, it looks like, the new that you're wanting, and this card kind of wants to go first in terms of, sort of really looking at it. This card is very fun. It's very social. Everybody's having a great time. These changes are good. So what you're leaving, saying goodbye to the old, the new is this. It's going to be fun. And so this one wants to go first to sort of say that, this is kind of what you might have been envisioning, and, this is sort of the good stuff that you were wanting that's caused all these changes. And so out with the old and in with the new, and the new is going to be fun. So that wanted to go first. And then Callie comes in, and with her, it's a bit darker feel to this card, isn't it? Like this is all fun and social, and they're having a great time, and she is just intense, kind of this, bringing you this lotus flower, out of the darkness kind of thing. And what she says is the old must be released so that the new can enter. The old must be released. She's very clear about that. The old must be released to make room for the new. That's fun and social and a great time. The old has to go out first. Well, when the old goes out, some things can happen. There can be sadness, there can be sort of confusion and questioning and what's going on. So you made these wishes, and then changes start happening, and sort of the way it shows up and this sort of reality of it can be confusing sometimes, like what's going on. And spirit can see it from the whole bigger picture. So spirit, in terms of orchestrating these changes to grant these wishes that you were asking for, they can kind of see it from a higher perspective. So it's like, okay, well, this needs to go here and that needs to go there, and we'll shift that over this way. And you down here as the human, you're just like, whoa, what's going on? So they're wanting to let you know that it is orchestrated. It's answering your wishes in terms of the changes that you were wanting. But endings sometimes can be hard. Change sometimes can be very hard. So the next card that wants to come up is Kali Ma, asking you to face the fear that comes with a lot of change. Change can bring up some fear. Just fear around the unknown. That's just one. Just fear around the unknown. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. So, the fear that she's asking you to address is sort of the fear of unknown. And because of all these changes, so she's coming up right next to these changes, these big major changes. The big spiritual changes, and then she's also, but she ends it by saying, this is your chance to soar. So kind of face the fear, because there's great stuff on the other side. Yeah, that's what she's saying. So she's saying it's okay. You can face the fear. You'll be all right. Face the fear of the unknown, knowing that you're in good hands, and it's just all about you making way for what you're wanting. The other thing that big change can bring up, especially the way Kali Ma says, you know, the old must be released, is emotions. All kinds of emotions get stirred up. I mean, straight away we have fear. There can also be sadness. Anytime you go from one thing to another, there's a loss of the thing. You know, even if it was bad, it's a bit of a loss. And so there's a lot of emotions that want to come up. And so Maeve comes up to say, you know, to honor the emotions that get stirred up with all these changes. And notice, you know, she's stirring in the water. She's just stirring in the water, just honoring every emotion that just gets stirred up from all these changes that might be going on. Honor the cycles of your body, your energy levels, and your emotions. And Sulis is also coming up, asking you to spend some time near water. So here comes water and water. She's saying, yeah, spend some time near water to, you know, honor your emotions, allow your emotions to stir up. And also at the same time, as the emotions get stirred up, you're honoring them. If you need to cry, cry. You know, just sort of honoring every emotion that comes up. It's releasing anxieties, fears, right? Just kind of honoring the emotions, allowing them to process through and release. And then she's also saying that the water too will sort of recharge your batteries by releasing the old, releasing fears, releasing all the emotional stirrings that come from this. You're also recharging your batteries with the water, the emotions. By releasing them, it recharges you with the water. It also stirs up lots of questions. What's going on? Lots and lots of questions. And so Kuthumi is here to speak to the cloak of wisdom. In other words, you guys are very wise. You know. So it might stir up questions, but what he's saying is that you already know the answer that you're looking for. Trust what you know. So as questions come up, you know, sometimes the answer's right in the question. You know, sometimes the answer's in the question. That's what he's saying. You already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know already. So sometimes just by asking the question, you're already answering yourself just by asking it. Yeah. So trust what you know already. Trust it. Kind of going deeper. And then to kind of go right along with that, we have guardian angels saying for you to be honest with yourself. Look into your heart and you will know the truth. In other words, you will know the answers in your own heart, in your own heart space. And notice how she's sort of holding her. Notice she's sort of holding her heart space. Be honest with yourself. Trust. Look into your heart and you will know the truth. The truth. It's safe to admit the truth to yourself. We will support and guide you through any necessary changes. So here are these changes again. So you're going to have emotions, you're going to have questions about what's happening. And so hopefully this reading so far too is just kind of confirming that, okay, yeah, you know, your wishes are being granted. That's all. And so a lot of changes were required in order to bring those in. So we're talking about truth again. Look into your heart and you'll know what's really going on. You already know. You know. Because it's right there in your heart space. That's what he's saying. You already know the answers. It's in your heart space. And then here comes the unicorns. I thought this was so funny. What you're asking about is true. This one's from the unicorns. Yeah, what you're asking about is true. Truth. You're always looking for the truth. Kind of thing, the wisdom, the answers to your questions, the truth of what you're wanting and what's happening, that kind of thing. And so the unicorns come up to go, yeah, it's true. What the unicorn is saying is that what these two are saying is true. And that you have the truth in your own heart space and to trust what you know. Yeah. So what I heard was true that, you know, that sort of teenage slang. It's like, yeah, true that. And from the unicorns, that's not how they would talk. If a unicorn could talk, that's not how they would talk. So it just made me laugh. They're just like, yeah, true that. All right, so big changes, things come up. All right, so he's asking you to trust yourself. You already know, trust yourself, be honest with yourself, your archangel. And then here comes the unicorns again, just saying, just be yourself. You're amazing. You're amazing. Just be yourself. Trust it. Honor your emotions. Trust the wisdom that you have. You already know. Just be yourself. And what they wanted to point out with this card is that if you look really closely, there's like, it's like a little bit of a, this path that this horse has come on. It's just like a winding path up this mountain. And the horse is facing this way as if, you know, they've been to the mountain and now they've come back down. There's a lot of learning that has happened. There's a lot of wisdom that's been gained up here. So it's like been to the top of the mountain and now we're just coming down. And so there's a lot, even more wisdom from the experiences that you've had, learned from, what you don't want, what you do want. You have a lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom. So just be yourself, trust yourself, that kind of thing. And then you also got this relationship card, so they might be tapping into relationships. And this one, again, Guardian Angels is asking you to honor your relationship with yourself and spirit first and foremost. To honor your relationship with yourself and spirit. Number one, let that come first. So I think it might have been you guys in the last reading where a new partner came up. If it did or if it didn't, it's coming up again. That a new partner may be coming in. A new partner may be some kind of a bit of the change. But this card wanted to be held up first. To honor your relationship with yourself and spirit absolutely first. So this new partner then might come in. Now this new partner card it's coming up next to the relationship card, but it also could be a work partner, could be a work partner, could be a relationship partner, could be a best friend kind of partner in life, like a friend. It could be anything. And so what they wanted to point out with this one is look how they're similar. You know, they're similar. One's a unicorn, one's a human, but they have very similar wings and very similar looks about them. That sort of makes them feel like, hey, I know you. That kind of feeling. A chance meeting is no mistake. It is divinely orchestrated as a catalyst to set the wheels in motion for the fruition of your prayers. So this partner who's coming in is part of helping these changes, all that might be occurring, so that all of the wishes that you asked for in all areas of your life can come true. This person is part of the orchestration of manifesting your wishes. Pay careful attention to anyone you meet that we send into your life. You'll recognize them by that sense of familiarity and comfort, right? Where there's something is sort of very similar, but it's not necessarily relationship. It's a person that's part of the orchestration that's going to help all your wishes come true that you are asking for. They're also giving you a little bit of things that you can do, one being to set your boundaries. And this is kind of coming along with your relationship with yourself, prioritizing that. And this card is coming up underneath these. So she's kind of wanting to go with these two here, saying to set your boundaries for yourself, in honoring yourself, in processing all these emotions that might be stirring up from all these big changes. She's saying to set your boundaries so that you have, say no to things that might be infringing on opportunities that you might prefer to be honoring yourself and all that's going on. A lot of changes. So don't hesitate to say no to others by, prioritize yourself if you're having fears or emotions that you want to process. Honor yourself first. But there's a lot of that, isn't it? I've said that now many times, haven't I? They're having me say that over and over. Honor yourself first. Honor yourself. Honor your cycles and rhythms. Honor your relationship with yourself. Set your boundaries. Create some laughter for yourself. This is another one that they're offering you to do. So one is that water will help recharge your batteries. And this one is also coming up to say laughter is very, very good. This one also is coming up underneath this one, you know. So as you're processing all these emotions and as things are changing so much, you know, laughter is such a great healer. If things are just getting intense and oh my goodness, and there's so much change is going on and there's so much happening, you know, see if you can deliberately set yourself into a situation where you can have a good laugh. It's very healing and it just lightens up everything. You also got the sorceress card. You are a sorceress. You're a magical person. You can manifest your clear intentions into reality. So this is coming up just to Rhiannon is just saying, yep, you're a sorceress. Just remember that. She's just saying, just remember that. And so what you are wanting is manifesting. This is just sort of the process of life. That in the process of manifesting, sometimes things have to go, make room. This has to shift over here. This goes over there. That goes over there to make room for what you're wanting. That you asked for, so it's happening. You're the sorceress. And the last card that wants to go is saying, finish what you started. You've started something important. And now it's time to complete it. They're not so much wanting to say that but it's coming up right under these guys. Big, big changes. You've started something. Because you wished for a different life. So you've started all these changes. And what they're saying with this is keep going. That's the two words I just keep getting for you guys. Keep going. No matter what it looks like on the outside, it is part of the manifestation process that you have started, that you've started. So keep going. Keep going. Because what's on the other side is absolutely what you are wanting.